Hi, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Without further delay, let's get right into this one. So, when you get a lot of money and fame, a lot of strange people start coming out the woodworks claiming to be your spouse from another time, claiming to be your long lost father, Uncle Reggie, your long lost cousin, all kinds of stuff. They are your child. It ain't no different. Jay-Z is now a billionaire, okay? And he is worth billions. So he's made it. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's doing all these things. He's married to the flyest chick in the game, which is Beyonce. It looks like a picture perfect life he has for him. But these stories keep popping up with different individuals claiming that Jay-Z is their father. And the funny thing is, Jay-Z must be a common looking dude because all of the people who claim that he is their daddy actually looks like him, like passable. Like you could see the resemblance, the similarities. So you would probably say, yeah, I don't know, that looks like his son. This story right here, though, is the same thing. If you look at this young man's face and look at Jay-Z's face, you will clearly see that he's passable to say he could look like him. But listen, a lot of black people look alike, okay? A number was done on us. We were sold from one plantation to the next plantation. We were interbred and interbred with each other just to create more people that could work for free on a planet. So we have this look about us that lasts all throughout the United States of America, the Caribbean, all the way back to Africa or anywhere where you know that there are black people there. You could probably pop up there and find somebody looking like you. That's just the way it is. Anyhow, talk about this story because this young man came out a few years ago to say that Jay-Z is his daddy, and in a short period of time, his mama, who was backing him and said, yeah, she had a thing with Jay-Z and got pregnant and then he disappeared, blah, blah, blah. Shortly after her son went public, she ended up dying. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying Jay-Z did anything to her. I don't want anybody to misconstrue or misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just saying she ended up dying shortly after. So here's the story. Shout out to the Daily Mail. The 30-year-old man who claims that he is the secret illegitimate son of Jay-Z has accused Jay-Z of abusing the legal system for more than a decade in order to avoid taking a paternity test. His name is funny. Resembles Satterwhite has been fighting to prove that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, is his biological father, and he's been trying to fight this case since he was 21 years old. He is now 30 years old. He is now taking this battle to the Supreme Court in an attempt to unseal the case and force Jay-Z to take a DNA test. Now, the first thing I said to myself is, damn, if you came up and said you was my child, I might have had a one-night stand way back in the day. Even if I didn't, I would still try to clear my name, right? I guess Jay-Z did not take a test, or maybe he did. I had to go further into the story to find out. So, speaking to this news entity about the latest twist in the roller coaster case, the young man whose name is Ramir from New Jersey, he insists that he wants nothing from Jay-Z. I don't want his money. I don't want a part of his legacy or anything like that. I just need closure to this. I just need to know who my daddy is, and I need to prove that he is my daddy. He added that he wanted nothing from the billionaire rapper who's been married to Beyonce, chart-topping pop star Beyonce, other than for Jay-Z to acknowledge him as his son. That's all he wants. In a letter, let me stop, okay? If my daddy is a billionaire and he had me out here for 10 years trying to fight for him to say he's my daddy, you best believe if they ever unseal that case and we did a DNA and it came back that he actually is my daddy, I'm taking back my words where I said I don't want nothing from him. I just want him to I want you to pay up for the last. I want you to pay up for the last 30 years that you weren't there. I'm going to need this car right over here. I'm going to need this house right over there. I'm going to need you to cut a check, daddy, for this much, that much. People say they don't want anything until, you know what I mean? Anyways, so in a letter, Jay-Z's attorney denied Rimmer's claim. And Jay-Z's attorney allegedly said that the allegations have been previously reviewed thoroughly by the courts and they have been refuted. I am sure that will be the outcome again, whatever the filing that Mr. Shadowweight may be currently considering. So they're basically telling him that, listen, the courts already saw these paperwork. They already heard your accusations. It was already refuted by the courts, proven, and the case is sealed. So anything you try to do right now, you're just going to go ahead and get the same answer again. This is not going to be over until justice is served, says Ramir, whatever his name is. I just want to live my life, and then when it is all said and done, I hope that Jay-Z would want to be a part of my life if that is God's will. I won't stop fighting for this until I win, and I will win because the law is on our side, he said. To the end, Ramir filed a new motion with the New Jersey Supreme Court in February of this year, which had been obtained by this news entity, Daily Mail, requesting that the court unseal years worth of documents dating back to 2012, arguing that keeping the case under wraps has prevented him from getting his due process. The motion, which details every facet of the years-long case in a 29-page document, was rejected by the Supreme Court because, according to the courts, it did not have jurisdiction to reopen matters in the appeals court or to unseal records in the trial court. It was then refiled again by Ramir in the appellate division of the New Jersey Superior Courts, which is now considering the matter. It marks the latest turn in a very twisted and lengthy case, which began, according to him, 1992, when his late mother, who has passed away, Wanda, allegedly said that she had a sexual encounter with Jay-Z while she was in an ongoing on and off again romance relationship with her high school sweetheart. So in other words, Jay-Z tapped somebody else's girl while they were taking a break. I tell you about these women, man. You be there doing all your good stuff and she'll, the relationship get a little bit salty and she decides, I'm taking a break. I'm going to my mama's house. She take a break and she go sling that coochie somewhere else, and then she come back later and it's like, okay, let's pick up where we left off. And if you ever say, I found out you were sleeping with somebody else, that's her excuse. Yeah, but we weren't together though. We took a break, remember? I wasn't even here. I went to my mama's house. Anyhow, that's the situation. That's how his mama explained it. Now, at the time, Wanda was 16 years old and Jay-Z was 22 years old. So a lot of people are saying not only would this prove statutory rape, but come on now. Everybody, if this child, if a DNA proves that this child is actually Jay-Z's child, this will have proven that Jay-Z at 22 years old fathered the child by a 16-year-old teenager. It's not going to look good on his record. It's not going to look good for any of his endorsement deals, any of his business ventures. Everybody is going to start to try to pull away from him for this, right? And it will get louder. So this goes beyond just him saying this is my daddy and we taking a DNA and finding out that it's not. And from the global rap sensation that he has since become, following the release of his debut studio album Reasonable Doubt in 1996, Jay-Z Ain't That No More. The fling, this young man says the fling that they had was short-lived, and by the time I was born in July of 1993, that romance between him and my mama, that had already come to an end. This is what this woman has told her child, and now she has gone on to the ancestral realms because she ain't here no more. She passed away. shortly after he came out accusing Jay-Z of being his daddy, his mama standing by his side saying, yes, I stand with my son and this is what happened. I had a fling with Jay-Z while I was dating my high school sweetheart, blah, blah, blah. And she ended up dying shortly after. Which is partly why he claims that his mother chose to put the name of her high school sweetheart, Robert Graves, who by this time had reignited his romance with Wanda by her side in the hospital when she gave birth, on her son's birth certificate as his biological father. Now, of course, everybody with sense is going to ask, did they ever do a DNA test with Mama's high school boyfriend, Robert Graves, who she got back with in time to watch her belly grow and think that that baby was his and put his name on a birth certificate? Did they rule him out? Or are they just going after Jay-Z? Or was Mama just slanging that monkey everywhere and she has quite a few people on the list that could possibly be his daddy? I don't know. Y'all talk to me in the comment section. However, according to a family insider, Wanda says always knew that Robert was not Ramir's father. Something that became all the more evident as he grew older and he bore more and more of a resemblance of Jay-Z and no resemblance of her high school sweetheart. She said, damn, it's Jay-Z's child. Shit. Well, according to this news entity, they reached out to all the parties that are involved, including Jay-Z and Jay-Z's attorney, Lisa Fisher. Now, when Ramir was 8 years old, he says his mom told him that Jay-Z, who by this stage had made a name for himself as a global music icon, she pointed to the TV one day seeing this famous person on there and says, that's your daddy. That's your real daddy. Ha ha! Oh my God. However, the question of Ramir's paternity test not turned into a legal tussle. It didn't turn into a legal tussle until 2010, 2 years after Jay-Z had gotten married to Beyonce, when Wanda's health began to decline. Now, at that time, she insisted that she had had sex with only 2 men at the time of Ramir's conception. She said that it was her high school sweetheart, Michael, and it was Jay-Z. And she requested that a Pennsylvania court take both those men and give them both a paternity test in order to determine who the father of her child is. Listen, when the court issued an order, Robert agreed to undergo genetic testing, proving once without any shadow of a doubt that he and Ramir had no biological relations. Robert's name was removed from that young man's birth certificate by the courts, and the space has remained blank ever since. In 2011, Wanda handed over custody of her son to her godmother, Lily Coley, who vowed to carry on the fight to prove the identity of Ramir's father once and for all. I was just trying to get help. I was trying to help my goddaughter's child have a relationship with his father. It was so hard on him because he was ripped away from his mom and had no one to call daddy. That same year, Lily contacted Jay-Z's attorney, Lisa Fisher, and asked that Jay-Z undergo a DNA test in New Jersey, where he and Ramir were based. What did Jay-Z say? Ramir and Lily says that they complied with the request, but they never received a response from Jay-Z's legal team about the results of any genetic testing. That same year, multiple reports surfaced alleging that Jay-Z had fathered another son with a Trinidadian model named Chanel Scott. Claims that the rapper's team were quick to dismiss as just ridiculous rumors. Lily and Ramir began to pursue legal action against Jay-Z in 2012, a battle that has since spanned more than a decade, or since spanned more than 10 years, a decade, and seen the pair embroiled in endless legal tussles with Jay-Z. During this time, the young man, whose name is Ramir, he insists that Jay-Z's legal team had made endless attempts to subvert the legal system in order to avoid taking a paternity test, which the 30-year-old would put an end to the case once and for all. He's saying the only thing Jay-Z needs to do is take this damn paternity test. This will answer all the questions. If he's not my daddy, he's not my daddy. Let's take the test and find out. Documentation about every legal proceeding is enclosed in Ramir's new Supreme Court motion, which has been seen by this news entity who I'm getting this news from, which is Daily Mail, and which outlines how the case began with a pre-trial in Camden County, New Jersey on August 13th of 2012. Now, during the pre-trial, right, Jay-Z's attorney argued that Lily, who was acting as Ramir's legal guardian because she was his godmama, and the mom was sick and her health was declining, so she turned over custody of her son to her godmother. She had no jurisdiction over his case because it was filed by his mother, Wanda, in Pennsylvania, and therefore should be heard in the same state. I'm just saying, why were they giving these people such a runaround? Why not just say, you know what, frig it. Let's take the damn DNA test. Let's settle this once and for all. I got nothing to lose, and I'm absolutely sure you're not my child. The rapper's attorney also insists, which is Jay-Z's attorneys, they also insisted that the case should therefore be dismissed outright because Ramir was over 18 years old at the time of the pretrial, and according to Pennsylvania state law, paternity must be established before a child reaches the age of adulthood. So they dragged it long enough for him to turn adult, and then they asked for it to be dismissed outright because he is now over the age of consent, or over the age which is 18, so he is considered an adult, and in that state it says paternity must be established before a child reaches the age of adulthood. Damn. The court, however, disagreed, holding that the case should be tried under New Jersey law, which states that the age of parentage is 23. Well, he's 30 years old now, and they still don't know. Jay-Z's legal team then argued that the rapper should be exempt from undergoing a DNA test in New Jersey because he did not live there or own any property in that state, despite several news articles linking him to homes in Alpine and Newport, New Jersey. My client does not have contact with New Jersey, Your Honor. He doesn't own residences there. He doesn't own anything in Alpine. He doesn't own anything in Newport. I don't know what that information is about out there. It is on the internet, his lawyer told the courts. As a result of this argument, the judge dismissed the case. Y'all heard this? As a result of that argument, the judge dismissed the case. So Jay-Z's lawyer basically got up in court and said, why are y'all linking him to New Jersey anyways? He don't own nothing out there. He's not from Jersey. And based on that, the judge dismissed the case. However, the young man, whose name is Ramir, if I'm not pronouncing it properly, his attorneys immediately appealed the verdict, insisting that they had evidence in the form of 3 property deeds and tax records proving that Jay-Z owned several properties in New Jersey and that his attorneys therefore committed fraud by stating otherwise in court. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, and you get up there and lie? That's perjury. For several of the properties, Jay-Z is still listed as the owner under his legal name, Sean Corey Carter. In addition, several of his immediate family members are also listed. Ramir and his legal team submitted the deeds of evidence for their appeal, and the case started back again, December 12th of 2012. Now, during a hearing as part of that trial, Jay-Z's attorneys noted that she had misspoken about where he really lived, having told the courts that the rapper lived at 411 Broadway in New York City, which is actually the office of his record label, Roc Nation. I did misspeak, Your Honor. I did misspeak at the last hearing because I really did think that Broadway was his home address. Yeah. However, the case was still dismissed after Jay-Z's lawyer contended that Ramir had failed to prove that Jay-Z Corey Carter listed on the deed was in fact her client and not another person with the same name. Oh my God. Yo, this is I'm serious, people. What do y'all think? Because so far, this is just a whole old tangled web. So the plaintiff's request for genetic testing and for support is dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and for lack of personal jurisdiction over defendant Sean Corey Carter without prejudice. This is what the court ruled. Don't frig with him no more, leave him alone. The decision came as a heavy blow to Ramir and Lily, who insisted that Jay-Z's team made false statements in order to sway the court in its decision. Now, in December of 2014, Ramir filed a civil lawsuit against Jay-Z and his attorney, during which the rapper's legal team made the same argument that they had done before during the 2012 and the 2013 trial, that he did not own any property in New Jersey and he could therefore not be subject to a paternity ruling in the state. Again, the court ruled in Jay-Z's favor and dismissed that case also. At the time, this young man says, I spent well over $20,000 on lawyers, man, and other things were related to this case. I didn't have that kind of money, but I knew that it was the right thing to do. Up until now, the entire case has been sealed by the court, which means that the public cannot obtain files pertaining to this case, something that Ramir hopes to change with his new Supreme Court filing. Now, despite the disappointment, or the disappointing decision, Ramir has continued to fight to prove his paternity, something that his mother, Wanda, spoke out on her deathbed before she passed away in 2016. On her deathbed, his mama, who said she had a relationship with Jay-Z on the side while she had her main man, and she was only 16 at the time, and he was 22. She said on her deathbed, my name is Wanda Satterthwaite, and I am the mother of Ramir Satterthwaite. She stated in a video that was shared with Radar Online, today is April 10th, 2016, and I want the world to know that I support my son in his paternity suit with Sean Corey Carter. I stand by my allegations regarding this man. Ramir has continued to fight this case even after his mother's death, suing Jay-Z for civil damages in 2015, claiming that the rapper had obstructed his ability to obtain closure. In 2017, Ramir and Lily filed a civil rights complaint to Judge Glenn A. Grant for violations that included not following normal procedures for court services based on gender, class, and retaliation. They also filed civil rights complaints in New Jersey's attorneys general and in the governor of New York, New Jersey's various New Jersey senators, and the Judicial Conduct Board in New Jersey. They won't stop. They repeated the civil rights violations complaint to the same parties again in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and in 2022. Once again, all of those cases were dismissed. In 2022, YouTube video, Ramir made clear his feelings about the case, telling the world, I don't feel like our rights are appreciated. There's a lot of fraud and collusion that has been going on. I'm not going to let that pass. We are going in there with our hard-earned money to fight fraud. The judges are allowing this to go on. Someone over them should be held responsible for this. I just want everyone to keep their eyes open. We should never go into a courtroom and feel like we are the victims. We got stepped on and we tried to get dragged through the system. I will not let anyone put this on my name, on my mother's name, or my godmother's name. We will fight for what is right like we have been doing all these years, he said in a YouTube video. Jay-Z has never publicly acknowledged this case at all or spoken about this case. However, in his 2018 album, with Beyonce called The Carters, You Heard About Us, he vaguely addressed the accusation. The lyrics to the song state, Billie Jean in his prime for the 1,000th time, the kid ain't mine. Online, they call me dad, kiddingly. You're not supposed to take this dad thing literally. Wow. Wow. Yo. I don't know. There's a lot of people on here. I'm looking at like 680 something comments right now under this story. Everybody says he looks like him. Some people are joking, he looks more like Usher than he does like Jay-Z. But for the majority of the people here are saying that, yo, he looks exactly like Jay-Z, bruh. This is Jay-Z's kid. So leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Now I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.